31 million people here today. That's not my estimate. That's not my estimate. That's the United States Park Police estimate. Do you think that the American media is going to cover that fact? It is a fact. Who are the most powerful people in this country? So what is your message to the people in that building back there? Good evening and welcome to Real Americans. I'm your host, Alan Hardage, here on the American Patriot Network. What you just saw were scenes from last week's 9/12 rally in Washington, D.C., and as you can tell, people were pretty wee-weed up. As we start the show tonight, we're going to be looking at the real numbers behind last week's 9/12 rally, and we're also going to be celebrating the 222nd anniversary of the signing of our Constitution. You know, this is Constitution Day, and we haven't heard a whole lot about it. But 222 years ago, 39 men signed their lives away onto a document that governs our great land today. Obviously, we're off course, though. There are people in Washington, there are people in the media, and there are people at the state levels which have gotten away from that Constitution that governs this land. And they have forgotten that we, the people, are the ones that are in control. Tonight, I'm going to show you scenes from last week's rally, and we're going to talk about the fact that between 1.5 million and 2.1 million people, depending on which estimate from the Park Police we look at, gathered together because they're frustrated. They're frustrated that their media is ignoring them and marginalizing them, that their will is being ignored by the people that they elected to represent them. So I want to get out of the way and I want to let you hear from them, the people of the United States, and see some scenes, if you didn't get to Washington, D.C., that are going to revolutionize our land.
Nobody should forget this day, because we are free. I'm Cuban. We saw communism take over my country, and then we moved to Venezuela, and we saw it take it over there as well. They're my parents. They've lived in this country 35 years, because they lived through this. Wall Street War. USA! 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 USA!
Capitalism, yes, socialism.
Here's somebody who knows. He's all American now. He's all American. He's lived it under Russia.
Hi, tell me your name, friend.
Yarko.
Yarko, you're not from around here, are you?
No, I go to University of Indiana.
University of Indiana. Where are you originally from?
Moscow.
Moscow. What do you think of this? Did you ever see anything like this in Moscow?
You're not really allowed to.
Not really allowed to?
Yeah, but it's amazing. There's people from Capitol building all the way to, I heard, 8th Street.
Wow. Why are all these people out here today?
Like me, we don't like what's going on with Capitol building. Thank you. Capitol building, Congress, everything, presidents. We don't like what he's doing.
He's a Russian hero, too. He's a Russision hero. That's right.
Now, when you see all the czars that America's getting right now, we've got, I think at last count, 37.
Russia didn't even have this many czars.
18 in 300 years you guys had. We've had more. We've had 3 times as many as you guys in 6 months. How does that make you feel?
I guess they're better at the czar thing than we are. That's all I got to say.
Does it scare you at all that we've got this many people that are appointed and not vetted at all?
It scares me that there's this many people here and they're not listening.
We're here with Betsy Ross in the nation's capital, Washington, D.C. Ms. Ross, what brings you out here today?
Well, I want less government. I come from Cuba. I came when I was 14, and I saw this whole thing happen in my country. And, you know, it's a shame.
Now, our president and a couple of Congress folks have been admonishing us to try and adopt a healthcare system like Cuba. Would you say that's a good idea or a bad idea?
Very bad idea.
And why is that?
Because there's no medicines over there. There's a lot of doctors that, you know, they choose to go to the universities to do something because nobody wants to work there.
And what do you think brings all these people out here today?
They're fed up.
They're fed up.
Yeah, we want to be respected. We're treated like kids. We are no kids.
How many people do you think are here today?
We averaged 50 per second over a 2-hour period, so we figured over 400,000 people, and that was a lot average.
450,000 people, and you just did that for how long? How long did you count for?
Over 2 hours.
2 hours. You've had a steady stream of 50 people per second for 2 hours.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That's amazing. What makes this many Americans take a Saturday out of their life and come to Washington, D.C.?
I think people are pissed.
Yeah.
I think people are tired of the government spending our money without any representation. You know, we put them up in Congress to represent us, and they represent themselves in special interest.
What do you think it's going to take to get this country back to where you want it to be?
I tell you what, they better listen to this today, or I don't know where it's going to go from here. It's scary.
Very good. Thank you very much.